One early morning, the sunlight shone across the vast savanna of the Kruger Game Reserve in South Africa. The rangers in the game reserve were monitoring a male lion named Rudo through a device attached to his neck. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Rudo was a young, strong, and adventurous lion, often leaving his pack to explore new lands. That morning, he felt the urge to explore a large tree growing on the riverbank. Seeing the dense foliage, Rudo raised his head and walked closer to observe. He decided to climb the large tree trunk to find a better viewing angle. With sharp claws, he climbed step by step up the trunk, the branches and leaves rubbing against his golden-brown fur. When he reached a high branch, Rudo accidentally got caught in a large beehive hidden in the tree cavity. A crashing sound rang out as the beehive fell, shattering on the branch. The homeless bees rushed out in panic, buzzing everywhere, looking for the culprit. Rudo immediately felt a sharp pain as the angry bees stung his skin. The swarm covered his body, forming black, wriggling patches. Panicked, Rudo staggered, wanting to jump off the branch. With a powerful leap, he launched himself to the ground in excruciating pain. Even though he landed safely, he still couldn't escape the swarm clinging to his fur. His roar echoed throughout the area, signaling his extreme distress. Rudo rolled frantically on the grass, hoping to shake the bees off, but each roll only agitated them more. The burning sensation spread through his body, causing him to writhe in agony. Desperate, Rudo sprinted toward a small swamp, hoping the muddy water would drive the bees away. He wallowed in the water, shaking his head vigorously to rid his mane of the relentless insects. However, the bees still clung on, some flying up only to land in other areas of his fur. From a distant hilltop, the ranger team's GPS device showed that Rudo had stopped moving for too long. This worried the conservation staff, who immediately deployed a search party. The patrol team drove to the area where Rudo's signal was detected. When they arrived, they saw him wallowing in the mud, covered in a thick layer of bees. Some staff members could hardly believe their eyes at the sight of the mass of black bees moving on the lion's back. An emergency rescue plan was necessary. The conservation team commander ordered reinforcements, including protective gear and specialized equipment. The rescue team suited up in full-body suits, thick gloves, and protective masks, knowing that any misstep could lead to them being attacked by the bees. A special vehicle carrying smoke canisters, nets, and bee boxes was dispatched. Their immediate goal was to drive the bees away from Rudo's body and then treat his wounds. Before deploying, the staff quickly discussed a safe approach strategy. One group would use smoke to disorient the bees, while the other would carefully remove them from Rudo's fur. Moving slowly, they kept a safe distance from the aggressive swarm. Rudo lay panting, exhausted from the pain and dehydration. His soft groans made the team even more determined to act quickly. The first group activated the smoke device around the bees. As the haze spread, the bees grew chaotic, their ability to locate diminishing. Some clung to the rescuers' masks but couldn't sting through the protective layer. Once the bees were less concentrated, the second group approached Rudo. With gloved hands, they carefully lifted clusters of bees off his body, placing them in boxes to prevent them from flying back. The continuous buzzing in their ears required extreme focus. After nearly 15 minutes, they successfully removed the thick layer of bees. Red, swollen stings covered Rudo's skin, filling the rescuers with sympathy. He groaned weakly, his eyes filled with pain. The veterinary team swiftly prepared a syringe containing painkillers and anti-inflammatory medication. A team member injected Rudo's calf, helping ease his suffering. Meanwhile, the first group sprayed more smoke to ensure the remaining bees wouldn't return. With the bees finally evacuated, the team moved in to assess his wounds. Rudo had countless stings, but fortunately, none were fatal. The experts administered an antibiotic injection to prevent infection. Next, they cleaned his skin and applied ointment to the swollen areas. Their movements were careful and gentle, mindful of Rudo's fragile state. Once the wounds were treated, they administered an IV to help him recover faster. The pain gradually subsided, and Rudo's breathing became steadier. He no longer roared in agony. Seeing him regain some strength, the team decided to help him stand. A few rangers carefully supported his sides, assisting him to his feet. Rudo staggered at first, but soon regained his balance. Knowing he needed nourishment, they placed a tray of fresh meat before him. At first, he was wary, but the enticing scent calmed him. Slowly, he bit into the meat, chewing to regain his strength. The team breathed a sigh of relief as they watched Rudo eat again. Once he finished, he licked his lips and glanced around with a calmer expression. It was time to return him to his pride. Using a special vehicle, they transported Rudo to his pack's territory. He seemed compliant, perhaps sensing their goodwill. As the engine rolled along the trail, the conservation team closely monitored his tracking device to ensure they were heading to the right location. When they neared the pride's usual resting place, they stopped the vehicle and opened the trunk. Rudo stepped onto the ground, sniffing the familiar scents of his fellow lions. A few members of his pride lounged under dry trees. Sensing his return, they let out soft roars, as if to welcome him back. Cautiously, Rudo approached, sniffing the familiar scents of his brothers. The rangers observed silently, prepared to intervene if necessary. However, everything went smoothly. The lions accepted him without conflict. Rudo rubbed his head against another lion, as if sharing his harrowing tale. Though his eyes still reflected fatigue, he was safe. A conservationist recorded his health status in a logbook. The rescue team agreed to monitor him closely for a while longer, believing that with treatment he would fully recover. As they left, giving Rudo space to reintegrate, they kept in touch via walkie-talkie, ready to assist if needed. A sense of joy and pride filled them. They had saved a precious life. Rudo's encounter with the bees would serve as a reminder of nature's unpredictable challenges. From that day forward, he became a symbol of resilience in the Kruger Game Reserve. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.